There we go. We're on record mode. Cool. Okay. So it's recorded. I will post this later today on our private economic cryptocurrency economic group page. If you're not on that page, Pete, let me know, and I'll add you to that page, okay? So just let me know that. But I'll post that later so people could, look at this over and over again. So here's the first thing. I've got a bunch of notes here. And the first thing I want to do is I want to first, because you have to realize when we do a call like this, you've got really two groups of people, correct? You've got someone that just joined us. Good morning. That's my son, Lucian. Everybody say hello to Lucian. Hi, Lucian. Hello. So we have two groups of people here. We have people, like us that have been part of our business for a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years, whatever it is, right? But what about the people that just became a part of our business yesterday, last week? They were never trained, and I'm sensitive to that. One of the things that I'm very, very sensitive to is that when we bring someone on, it's our responsibility. Sponsor, responsibility, kind of one and the same word, right? So it's our responsibility to teach someone correctly. In fact, I did a video yesterday also about getting started correctly, and that's a great video. So I want to reiterate just some of the things from that video because we need to know, how to get started correctly, what to do. So let's just take a few minutes. Excuse my voice. Boy, this is almost 3 weeks now, this call. This is terrible. It's just killing me. Let's just take a few minutes and go through our process, right? Our process. The whole thing is a system, but then there's a process that we go through. So when you bring someone new on, right? Haley brings someone new on. Matt, Pete brings someone new on. Joe brings Bob on. Okay, what do we do? What do we do? And that's what I went through. That's why I did that video yesterday that I posted in our private group page to give people an idea how to get started. And actually, I did that video for my group that's starting in Kenya right now. And they said, hey, Bob, because we did a Skype call last week, give us a process. And I'm very big with that process. So I laid that out. And that's a good video to spend time on and look at that and understand that. But, our process, it's important that we realize that word. I believe everything starts here. Everything starts here, right? Listen, you want to come in this business and make 100,000 a month, $1 million a month, you could do that. You want to make 1,000 a month, you could do that. But we get you to 1,000 a month, we just duplicate the process. We get you 10,000 a month. We get you to 10,000 a month, we get you 100,000 a month. It's just a matter of the duplication of the process. That's all it is. But I believe in my heart that we've got to get this straight. And again, for those of you that have not read it, if you want, I posted it on our page. It's called the Book of Affirmations. You could really learn how to get this correct, to get your brain straight, because I believe it's all about the self-talk that we give ourselves. That's number one. Number two, it's important to make a list. Well, why? Why? Well, think about this for a second. Joe Spallino and I, we want to go start a company. We want to start a business. It's going to cost us 100 grand. We need equity, correct? That's traditional business. Do we need that type of equity in this business? No, we don't. We don't need that. But where does our equity come from? Our equity comes from the list that we produce. So how you impart this to the new person is critical. Let me give you an example. 1 + 1 does not equal 2 in this business. Does not. 1 could equal 30. I could bring Pete in, and all of a sudden Pete goes out and enrolls 35 people. It's different. So your equity in this business is in how big, how abundant, how grandiose your list is. So case in point, We bring Mary on. Mary produces a list of 25 people. She blows through the 25 people. What do you think her emotions are like? Oh, now what do I got to do now? I'm on the NFL, the no friends list, right? I'm on the NFL, the no friends list. Not good. So everybody, everybody knows, an adult knows anywhere from 300 to 400 people. How many people are in our phones? We get that. So we want to produce a list of 200 plus people. So that's number 2. Number 3, very simple. We want to strike interest, and in that video I went through yesterday, again, go through that because I did a phenomenal job. I must say myself, Haley, I did a phenomenal job in really giving you about 3 different scripts, which I'm going to give you some more in a little bit, but I gave you about 3 different scripts in that video yesterday to teach you how to actually strike interest. And striking interest is an exposure. So I turn to Joe, I turn to Matt or whatever, and I might say something, hey, what do you know about cryptocurrency? That's number 1. Or I might turn around and say, hey, Joe, I'm just throwing it out there. Would you be open to a side project if it doesn't interfere with what you currently do? Now, listen to those words. Break that down for a minute. Would you be interested in a side project? What does a side project evoke in the brain? Look at my fingers. Money. It's a side project. Now look at the end line. If it doesn't interfere with what you currently do. Now, let's presuppose Joe's response is absolutely. Here's what my response is. Hey, I'm just curious. Why? Why would you be interested? What am I looking for? I'm looking for the pain. Now this is top stuff, guys. This is the art of communication right now. I'm looking for the top stuff. I'm looking for the pain. That's what I'm looking for in my prospect. Well, I'm just curious. Why? What changed in your life? Would you be, I want to hear, I want to learn. And then I might turn around and say, well, you know what, Haley, if you're really serious, about earning an extra $5,000 a month, if you're really serious, and I could show you a way to do that, would you be open to it? This is top stuff. This is like, and then very simple. Okay, I've got it now. I want to get out of there. I want to get out. I don't want to belabel it. I don't want to belabel it. I don't want to belabor it. I am a good speaker. Okay, I've got to get on another call. If I set it now, here. If I send you an email with a couple of things to look at and listen to, would you look at it within the next few hours? Not the next 10 days. The next few hours. Well, Haley might turn around and say, well, I won't have time till later tonight. That's fine. That's fine. But I do want to create a sense of urgency. That's what I want to do. Now, there's another way to strike interest. For those people, like I spoke to a guy yesterday. I spoke to a guy yesterday. I don't want to talk to my family and friends. I love that. I just love that. It gets my blood going. I want you to think about this. Let's talk about what I just said. Matt, you all of a sudden, you're going to open up a restaurant and you put 150 grand into this restaurant. You're going to have a grand opening in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you're going to have a grand opening. Are you inviting everybody? Absolutely. But all of a sudden, because we've got this home-based business, I don't want to talk to my family. Really? What if it sounded like this? Hey, Pete, I love you, my brother. I've done a lot of things. I came across something that I'm pretty stoked about. I'm excited. I want to share it with you. Pete, I don't care, believe me. whether you like it, you don't like it, you become part of it, you consume, I don't care. But this is a big deal. And I don't want you coming to me in a year or 2 years and saying, Bobby, you're my brother. And you're driving around in this new Bentley, or you just bought a new home, or you're taking your family all over the world. You couldn't tell me about this like you told me about everything else? So Pete, do me a favor, take 5 minutes, just watch this. Is that fair? That's a tie down. Is that fair? Okay? So I want you, so let's continue with this process, guys, and then I want to go into some really other dynamite stuff, okay? So again, let's go back a bit, right? We got to get this straight, the head, right? Number 1, got to build a list. Number 2, strike interest. Number 4, show the plan. How do we show the plan? Well, we've got great videos, correct? We got a 16-minute video. We got a 5-minute video. We got a multitude of different videos and information, okay? We could, if you want, I've got a great email that I send my prospects. If you want to remind me later on Facebook on the private page, I could take it, copy it, and put it in the page. It'll show you what to do, okay? So then we show the plan. And I'm going to read a little phrase I wrote down. You ready? If you need or want lots of money, prospecting must consume 90% of your time. Let me reiterate that. If you want lots of money, prospecting must consume 90% of your time. You have to realize that. That's the business that we're in. That's the business other salespeople are in as well. Can you imagine being a stockbroker in the 80s? I know here where I live in New York, in Long Island, there were brokerage firms all over here that they had to make 400 calls before lunch before they could have went to lunch. And we're complaining about doing 2 exposures a day. 2. That takes me about a minute and a half to do. So you get my point. So we've got to get this straight. We've got to build our list. We've got to strike interest. We show the plan using a tool. At that point, you can go a couple of different ways. You could very easily say to your prospect, hey, Matt, what did you enjoy about, what I sent you? Hey, Matt, what resonated? Not did you take time to look at it? Don't say that. What did you like about it? What resonated with you? What excited you? Did you get it? Did you see the big picture? Blah, 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 blah. And if you want, I will tell you, if you do this a lot, it'll be game over. Do a 3-way call with your upline. And if not, then direct people to the 10 Zoomcasts. Now, I don't get on 10 a week because I've got my calendars busy, but that is a platform that Tom laid out that I appreciate, that I like. Believe me, I think it's dynamite. And my goal is to put 10,000 in a group in the next 100 days. That's my goal. Those Zoomcasts, what the Zoomcasts do is they create validation. And validation is important. Again, it's part of our system of education. We have to understand that. So again, watch my fingers here. Here's you. Here's your prospect. Your prospect trusts you, but your prospect doesn't necessarily believe you, especially because you've been out of work for the past 3 months and you're broke. So I mean, come on now, we got to understand that. That's just a general statement, okay? But as soon as you bring in the third party, your prospect, and you've edified correctly, here's what edification sounds like. I'm prospecting Haley, right? She's my prospect. Matt's my Pete's my sponsor. And I want to get Haley on the phone with Pete. And I turn to Haley and say, Haley, you know what? You've got some great questions. I'm relatively new at this space, But the gentleman I'm working with, Pete, oh my goodness. First, a great guy. Now, I'm doing this prior to him being on the phone. So I don't want to waste Pete's time. Pete doesn't need to hear me edify about him while he's on the phone with me and Haley. Haley, he's a great guy. He's down to earth. He's building out and expanding the distribution channel around the country and around the world. Here's key. And he's teaching people how to earn 6 and 7 figures. Bam! We got to talk to him. Boom, hold on. All of a sudden now, Pete's on the line. Haley believes Pete. Still trusts me, believes Pete. Right? Still trusts me, believes Pete. And I got 2 against 1, by the way. There's an unfair advantage. But there's another part here. If I'm on the phone with Haley, and Haley's my neighbor, my sister, whatever she works with, we're going to talk about everything else under the sun except my business. Well, how's your family? How's this? I want to get down to business. But as soon as I bring my sponsor on, the dynamics change. Everything changes. And for the most part, a lot of that happens on a Zoomcast as well. You know, Tom's there. He's the expert. If I'm speaking, I'm the expert. So again, let's go back. Let's just reiterate for a minute. We haven't teach people that, you know, you've got someone that makes $25,000 a year, someone that makes $1 million a year. What's the difference? Grassroots. It's their thinking. It's their mindset. I believe. I've studied enough of this. I've read enough books. It's their mindset. And we bring people into this business. I believe if we could kind of guide them, get them that book that I've given you. You know, that book on affirmations, which is phenomenal. If you don't have it, it's in our private Facebook page, the Cryptocurrency Economic Group. It's called Affirmation. Hold on. This is it here. Right? See it? Okay. It's I have the PDF. The PDF is in the group page. Okay. So you can read that. It's dynamite. You can read that in an hour or 2. It'll blow your mind. And hopefully you'll thank me the rest of your life because it's very powerful. It's life-changing. It's literally life-changing. Life-changing. And then we teach them how to create the list. But here's how you do the list. Let's go back a second. Here's what it sounds like. And I'm going to go through some other stuff in a second that is pretty cool. The list goes like this. Hey, Haley, I just bring in actually, I just enrolled Haley, right? And I'm going to say, hey, Haley, here's where we're going to start. I'd like you to go build a list. I'd like you to get it to over 200 people. And I'm going to also email you the PDF of this great book. I'd like you to read it. Call me when you're done. Now, did everybody get that? Call me when you're finished or you completed it. Why do I do that? Does anybody want to unmute themselves and respond to that? Why do I do that?
See if they're going to do the work.
Say that again?
See if they're going to do the work that it takes.
That's the deal, Stephen. That's the deal right there. Now, what if, think about it. What if the person doesn't call me back? Do I sweat over it? Yeah, I might reach out, and say, hey, I didn't hear from you. What's the deal? I don't get crazy. I just keep going. I don't get crazy. I just keep going. Once my prospect builds the list, then I know it's time to go. So let's continue with this process, okay? My objective for my new independent marketing affiliate, my new partner, is write this down, 2 and 72. 2 and 72. Now, this is predicated on the fact that they want to build, right? That they want to build. So I want to help them bring on 2 people in 72 hours. Oh boy, if you can get this ingrained in your brain, 2 people in 72 hours, and start that mindset within your organization. Folks, do the math. Hold on, I want to do this real quick. 2, 4, and if you did this in a year, well, on the low end, it can happen quicker, but in a year, you'll have 4,000 people in your group. 4,000 people in a distribution channel, averaging $500 a month in sales. And by the way, we own a home-based business, and every business needs to do what? Sell. We need to sell something, or else businesses go bankrupt. We need to sell something. So let's presuppose you've got 4,000 IMAs in your distribution channel times $500. That's $2 million a month, split between 2 legs. You make 10% of the lesser leg. That's $100,000 a month. Everybody get that? That's the deal. So if I get 4,000 people times $500 in educational packages each, that's $2 million in volume. I didn't add in the back end, the check matching. I just talked about the binary. So 2 in 72, helping people get 2 people right away is the deal. Then drive it down, help those people with your new person get 2. Go 3 levels deep, keep sponsoring. Sponsor another one. Or keep driving down. Keep driving. So one of my goals over the next 2 years is to create 16 diamonds. That's one of my goals. I look at that every day. To create 16 diamonds that we could travel around the world together amongst everybody else, but leadership. Because today in business, forget about what we do. It's about leadership and being creative. Leadership. And before you could be a leader, you have to lead yourself. Self-leadership, it starts with. Self-leadership. Self-leadership. Then you can go out and begin to lead others. So, okay, so let's go on. Okay, so that's the process, right? We got the process down. We get that. Boom, 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 boom. Repeat and rinse. Boom, boom, boom. Repeat and rinse, right? It's not complicated. It really isn't. And I think one of the things that, you know, and I'll do this more next week, and we'll keep doing it because I want you to get this down, right? So, for example, here's the part. Here's one of the parts. If you really want to become good, because I believe in my heart the best art that we could develop, is the art of communication. The art of communication. For me to be able to communicate effectively with another human being and ethically persuade them to get them to do what is in their best interest, there's no better art. And as my friend used to say, Jim Rohn, it pays big money. I love when he used to say that, right? So for example, you know, when someone says to you, Pete, well, I don't have the time. What do you say? We should have a learned response. And something to the fact that might sound like this, you know, Pete, I found out that people will never have more time unless they find a way to make more money. Would you be open, to helping that time issue? or is that something you plan on never solving? Oh, 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 oh. Let me repeat that, Pete. That's for you, baby. You ready? I found that people will never have more time unless they find a way to make more money. Would you be open to helping that issue, or is that something you plan on never solving? That's like I just took a knife, opened up the wound, it's bleeding, I put in salt, and I spit in it. I enhance the pain. Or how about this? Is that Spallino?
Yeah, man, that was awesome.
Oh, by the way, guys, that's one of my diamonds. This is what I live with.
Man.
Or how about this? Joe turns to me, oh, Bob, I have no time. Oh, God, how long are you going to keep doing that? I'm opening up the wound, spitting in it, throw salt in it to create pain. We as human beings, we have to realize something. We as human beings only do things in life for one or two reasons: to avoid pain and to gain pleasure. That's it. You're on here with me right now to gain the pleasure of increasing your knowledge to go out and build your business bigger and make more money. Yes or no? Right? Let me take a sip of this to avoid the pain of me feeling thirsty. Hold on. Okay? I want to buy another sports car to add to my collection so I can have the pleasure of doing blah, blah, blah. You get my point. So if you could use pain and pleasure, and understand that in a way that gets people to move towards action. You know, I don't have time. Really? I find out that people will never have more time unless they have found a way to make more money. Would you be open to helping the time issue, or is it something you have is it something you never want to solve? Which is it? You know, I think I wrote down here too. Hold on, guys. Prospecting. I have no money. Right? Here, I wrote down little notes here. I appreciate you have no money, and in spite of not having any money, isn't the real question how you could start to enjoy traveling and the benefits now without suffering any longer? See, all of this is just becoming, let me kind of drive the point home, because I've got something else I want to go through. Many years ago, and being in the sales profession my whole adult life, and marketing and business, which I love the art of it. I love the game. I love striving to build something. I just enjoy that. But you know, there are companies out there that produce books for their salespeople, that give their salespeople phrases on what to say, and they're coded and copied on certain paper that you could never copy it, because they're that important to the organization. They don't want anybody else to learn about it. So it's just a matter of understanding and knowing what to say. And we're going to go through this every week, so you can have the little nuggets, Steve, right? Joe, you can have the little nuggets to know what to say and when to say it. Fair enough? Okay, good. Don't all answer at once. Okay, so let me go on. I want to move on. I want to go into something else. We're going for 30 minutes right now. Anybody have any questions? Feel free, unmute. Let me take a little break for a minute. If anybody wants to share anything? No? Okay, I'll keep going. All right. Okay. Let's, I want to shift a little bit. What if, here's a question for everybody. Ready? What if building your enterprise was actually fun and easy? And some people don't look at it sometimes like that, and it's unfortunate. What if building your enterprise was fun and easy? And I believe in my heart, and I've been very fortunate to have some really great coaches in my life, especially in this business. Some really great coaches I've had, some prominent people that you know about. I believe that if you knew how to make it fun and easy, it would be fun and easy. Okay? So I'm going to go through some expectations. I'm going to go through some expectations for you to realize and understand. Everybody with me? Okay, here we go. So number one, and I've got notes here. I've written notes, so I want to kind of read these to you, okay? So number one, a $10,000 a month asset income from your business carries a net worth of $3 million. You need to realize that. That means, Pete, you build a business that you've got $10,000 a month that comes into you, whether you work or not, the value of that asset is $3 million. We have to know this. If we wanted $10,000 a month to come into our household, we would need $3 million in some sort of financial modality. We need that. I spoke about that the other night on a Zoomcast, correct? So we have to know this. This is important. So that's number one. Know that number. You have $100,000 a month coming in, that's a $30 million asset.
No.
We have to know that, okay? We have
They
to
refunded it.
Okay. That is not.
So we have to understand that produces, our business can produce a very large asset. We are in an asset building business. I'm not talking about the accumulation of our coins. This has nothing to do with it. I'm talking about the revenue producing ability of the leveraged vehicle that we're in. Number two. Okay, it gets good. You ready? Here we go. If you personally sponsor / enroll 100 business builders, these are not people that are just miners, but business builders, not people that are miners, but people that have the intention to build. Okay, let me keep going here. In 2 years, you will set in motion a dynamic leadership momentum, duplication, and geometric growth that will result in an asset of over $10,000 a month. Cynthia, if you and I owned a real estate office, and we went out and I said, okay, we need to hire some real estate agents. How many real estate agents, Bellino, I know you know the number. How many real estate agents do we need to hire before we have anywhere between 3 and 5 good ones? What's the number, Cynthia? Do you know? Unmute yourself if you do. Okay, forget that part then. The magic number is we need to go out, as Joe Spallino is saying right now, and bring on 30 people. That's the number. If Pete and I owned an insurance agency and I said, Pete, let's go get some insurance agents. Got to hire a sales manager. We're going to do it, whatever. We need to bring in 30 people before we have 3 to 5 good ones. That's the deal. If we're in the network marketing business and we want to launch our business and get it going, well, the first rung, we need to bring on 30 people. And then maybe another 30. That's the deal. It's just the way it is. You've got to create that momentum. You have to know this. You could bring on 100 people. I spoke to Jason the other day. Jason, in 2 years, Manjan, Jason brought on 170 people in 2 years, and he did it all from Facebook. 170. My first 60 days out of the gate, I brought on 45 people in my One Life, One Coin enterprise. Combination of minors too. But the magic number you should have in your brain is 30. Once you get to 30, go to another 30. Now, dependent upon your leadership skills and how you can get leaders out of that and then drive the depth. Depth will create wealth for you. Depth will create wealth for you. Let's go on. Number 3, okay? How do you personally sponsor 100 people in 24 months? Sounds crazy, right? Here we go. Do 3 presentations a week, just 3. And I'm going to break that down for you. When you see me go like this, that means 2 exposures a day. 2 exposures a day. I go to Joe Spallino, I call him up. Hey, Joe, I'm just throwing it out there. Would you be open to a side project if it didn't interfere with? Sure, Bob. Boom, he raises his hand. I send him something. That's an exposure. That's an exposure. Everybody should be doing a minimum of 2 exposures a day. Hold on, I want to make a note because I don't want to leave today without sharing this with you. I don't want to forget. So everybody should be doing a minimum of 2 exposures a day. You want to get to 10 to really rock and roll? Great. But out of those 14 exposures a week, you should sit down with anywhere from 3 to 5 people a week. You sit down with 3, or you get 3 to 5 people to come to a Zoom cast, either or. Either or. You are enrolling anywhere from 4 to 5 people a month. Do the math. 4 people a month, 48 people a year, 96 people in a year. 5 people a month, 60, 120. That's how you bring on 100 people in 2 years. That's how you retire in 2 years. That's how you say, take care, boss, have a nice day. That's how you tell your employees, have a nice day, there's a new business owner. That's how you do it. That's it. Number 4, how do you get 3 people per week to sit down with you? Well, simply invite 14 people per week to take a look at what we have. And as I said the other day, if Dr. Ruja came out on stage right now in Sweden and said, oh, we're introducing a new program. Anybody that does 2 exposures a day, we will pay them $500 each for each exposure, $7,000 a week. How many of you would continually do your 2 exposures every day? Everybody. But if you did one day, you're out, done. Everybody would do. This is how you have to approach this. You have to realize this. This is the part. So let's break down the numbers. Let's break down the numbers, right? This is the math. I used to use what I'm sharing with you, I did for years in this industry on stage. And it just, when people get this, it's just unbelievable, right? So a $10,000 a month income produces a $3 million asset. Now, write these numbers down. 14 invites a week is 728 a year, or 1,456 over 2 years. 1,456 invites equals 300 presentations equals 100 personally sponsored business builders in the next 24 months. I want you to think compression and momentum. That's the deal. Do the math. Each invite is worth what? Each invite, each exposure, by this math, each exposure was worth what? If anybody did the math quick, each exposure is worth $1,400. Each presentation, either you sit down with them, invite them to the Zoomcast, they show up, is worth $6,500. Each new person that declares the intention to build is worth 20 grand to you. This is the stuff that we need to know as business owners. Because when we look at this business in a casual way, well, it only creates casualty. That's it. We have to realize that. So, would you, again, last thing I've always written down, would you invite 14 people a week if our company paid us $1,400 for each exposure? Of course you would. We make this profession hard because of how we think about it. And because we make it hard, it becomes hard, and we don't do much to make the opportunity work. Hard becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When I start Monday, I've got calls to make today. Sundays are free days for me and my family. I need one free day a week. That's the way my makeup is. I need that. In fact, when I was in a coaching program in Canada for 15 years, one of the things that my coach, Dan Sullivan, taught us was the more free time you take, the more money you'll make. But, right now for me, and I ran a financial firm here in New York that I was only there 3.5 days a week. But I was so productive. I'd come in on a Monday, I delegate to my staff, I'd go home. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday were focus days for me. Laser focused. 80% of the day was revenue producing activities. I rocked it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, free. And we did extraordinary. And that was a great run for 22 years. But I learned how to build a unique ability machine. A unique ability machine. So, the stuff I'm sharing with you right now is such good information, but I can only lead you to the water. I made a note here as I was speaking, and the note I made, I wrote down 2 words: daily routine. Daily routine. And I don't believe in the word discipline. I don't believe in that word. I believe that each and every one of us are disciplined to our own habits. Pete has a habit of getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I got a habit of getting up at 6:30. Cynthia has a habit of exercising 5 days a week. I have a habit of exercising 3 days a week. Blah, 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 blah. And it takes how many days to develop a new habit? 66. 66 days. 66 days. And if you want to read a great book, write this down. Someone put it in the chat, please. If you want to write a great book, read a great book. I'm just looking here. The One Thing by Gary Keller. Great book, Pete. Great, great book. I read that over a year ago, and he just blew me away. In fact, Pete, this is what sits right here on my computer. Can you read that, everybody? What's the one thing I can do such that by doing will make everything else easier and unnecessary? So, when you have a daily routine and in your business, you've got to do 2 exposures a day. You want to post 1 or 2 pieces of content. You want to do this, and that's your business. That's your business. That's your habit. If you really want to ramp it up, if you really want to go, well, you do 6 exposures a day. Don't go to bed. I could do 6 exposures probably in an hour and a half. I could do 6 exposures. And then the next day it's the follow-up. It's the 6 exposures, then the follow-up, right? And then eventually what I'm looking to do is out of those exposures a week, I'm looking to drive them to the Zoomcast, or I'm looking to sit down with them, whatever, right? But we have to, I believe, as I think about this more, we bring people into this business that are, a lot of them are employed. They might have a job, right? And probably one of the worst addictions that we could have in our lives is depending upon a weekly paycheck. It's like crack cocaine. Sorry. And we tell people, hey, it's a good business, but without giving them the understanding that it takes time. It takes a little time to do. It can happen quick. It can happen in 90 days on how fast you want to run. But it takes a little time. And we have to understand that there's, success is about being persistent and consistent and doing things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? All right. So let me, I got about 10 minutes. So, and then I want to just talk a little more, and then I'll open it up. And if anybody wants to chat and talk and share some ideas, I love that part. So hopefully there are people that have some questions that we can go through, because I think that helps a lot of people as well, right? So that's pretty cool. So we are. I'm in this 90-day run, and I'm ramping it up even more. And my goal every day, part of my routine, is to do 10 exposures, to post 20 direct messages on Facebook. I need to produce 1, maybe 2 pieces of social media content every day, and then do other things as well. But once you understand that speed, momentum is our friend in this business, well, things could change pretty rapidly. I'll never forget my friend Nathan Ricks from my New Skin days in 89, 91, and 92. I left. 3 of my friends each made over 30 million in that business. And he came in when I left, and he had $30,000 in his pocket, had a wife and 2 children, 2 daughters. And he says, I'm going to go full time. I got my back up against the wall. And the first year, I believe the first 90 days, and you could watch his videos on YouTube. The first 90 days or so, he sponsored like 33 people. 33 people. And out of the 33 people, he had 4 good ones. He was well coached by some great people. And he learned and understood what it was like to drive it down, drive the lines. This business is not magical. It's not mystical. It's not scientific. It's simple. It's not complicated. And he set a goal that the first year he would earn 100,000. He would get to 100,000 a month. He got to 99,000 and change the first month in business. First year in business. Anybody on this page could knock it out of the park. Got to get this right first. Get into a daily routine, get good at it, practice at it, and just keep going through the motions. I believe even if your skills are not that good, what you lack in skills today, you could make up in numbers. What you lack in skill today, you could make up in numbers. So, okay, and lastly, let me just throw this out. We are planning an event because the way you do a 90-day run is you end it or lead up to a major event. So myself, Geraldine, Margie Scott, and we'll get others that are involved. We're going to hold an event here in the Northeast. We will let you know more about it. It'll probably be somewhere near, I'm thinking off the top of my head, maybe near LaGuardia Airport, so we could draw from Connecticut, draw from New Jersey, draw from New York, Long Island. People could fly in right there. So it'll probably somewhere around there. And our objective is to have 300 plus people in the room. And we could do that, especially when you're going through a run, like a 90-day run. It's just phenomenal what happens. So you'll hear things. We'll have tickets available, things like that. We'll promote it, and it's going to be dynamite. So, okay. So, anybody want to talk? Who wants to share?
Hey, Bobby, this is Bob Pilkington. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us.
You're welcome, Bob.
I've put out, I've made a lot of contacts with people that I know through business in the past, and I've sent them the videos. And where I lack is on a response when I call them back and say, hey, hey, Joe, what did you like about the video you watched? Bob, it's just not my thing. I'm just not really interested in it. And I don't have a response to that.
That's interesting. Okay. So it's interesting because I thought you were going to say something else, that you're having a challenge getting them back on the phone. So I was prepared to give you a solution for that. And by the way, for that, you should always BAM FAM. Write that phrase down. BAM-FAM. BAM
Right.
FAM.
Mm-hmm.
So if I call you, Bob, I'm going to book a meeting from a meeting and make sure I get you on the phone. When I call someone, Bob, if I'm calling you, it would sound something like this. And I don't know what you're doing, so let me just tell you what I do, right?
Okay.
I would give you a buzz. Hey, Bob, it's Bob Sager. How are you? Hey, I'm just circling back. Just wanted to, touch base, see what you liked best about what I shared with you. So let's kind of analyze that for a second. What you liked best, what resonated with you, what excited you. I'll never say, Bob, hey, did you get a minute to look at it? Did you look at this or whatever? I want to play with the mind a little bit, right? I want to use my persuasion skills as best as I can, Bob. What did you like best about it? What resonated with you? Were you able to see the big picture, Bob, in how cryptocurrency is about to change the global economy in a massive way and create economic freedom? I'd love to hear your response. And sit back. And, Bob, the thing I found out is, although I've been in the sales profession my whole adult life, I'll be 58 years of age in a couple of weeks. I've been in the sales profession since I'm 22. There's only so much I could do, but the point is, in this business, there's a certain level of selling, but I don't want to sit back and try to convince you on this. Here's what I'm going to do, though. Based on your response, I'm going to go in a couple of different directions, right? Well, I like this. I like that. I like this. Or this. What if your response was, Bob, it's really not for me. Okay, Bob, I felt, I totally, now I could go a couple of different ways. I could turn around and say, I know how you feel. I felt the same way, but here's what I found out. I could use that response, right?
Yeah.
I know how you feel. I felt the same way, but this is what I found. And then you can go from there. You could try to change that behavior. If you want to try to change someone's behavior, Bob, you could do that. So if you said to me, you know what, Bob, this is really not for me. If I feel like changing your behavior, I might say, I'm curious. Why do you say that? Oh, so first of all, when I use the phrase, I'm curious, or I'm just curious, that's a phrase that we grew up with. If I say to Pete, hey, Pete, I'm just curious, blah, 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 all of a sudden something clicks in his brain and he pays attention to me. So something to the fact, Bob, that, hey, Bob, I'm just curious, what would make you say that? And I'm just waiting for your response. And again, this is if I want to change your behavior. If you want to change their behavior. If you don't want to change your behavior, but you still want to capitalize on it, it might sound like this. Bob, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what I found out. You want to go there, you can. Or you could just say, Bob, I'm building something extraordinary right now. Cryptocurrency is going to change the global economy in a massive way. Who do you know? Who do you know that you might feel are self-motivated, would like to develop a passive income of $5,000 and $10,000 a month, or would like to amass 100,000 coins in the next 24 months with an average value of $25. I believe, Bob, out of dialogue for a second, I believe when, again, we're in a space, I think we could agree upon this. We're in a space that's pretty extraordinary. I think we could all agree. We're fortunate to be in this space. And I also believe that when someone says that, they really, I think they don't know. They don't know. They're not educated enough. You might, maybe we didn't give them enough information. Maybe we didn't educate them enough. So when they say that, I really believe in my heart that they really don't get it. Now, we have to realize this. Here's what we have to realize. Some people will resist cryptocurrency, resist our business. Some people will say, okay, but it's not for me. And some people will say, I'm all in. And, it's okay. You got paid, Bob, for that exposure. You got paid for that exposure. Whether you know it or not, you got paid. When he raised his hand and he said, yes, I'll take a look at a video, well, you don't know, too, if he looked at the video or not. And that's why you want to say, hey, what did you like best about it? Then you'll know if he looked at the video or not. And that's as much, there's only so much we can do. So I hope that helps.
Oh, it's great, Bobby. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, pal. Go for greatness. Okay, anybody else? We got 2 minutes. Anybody else?
Hey, Bobby. How you going?
Is that Haley?
Thanks so much. It is. It is. Thank you so much. You're a blessing in disguise. I love you to bits. I have just tried to find that affirmations one that you were saying in your group, and I can't find it. Do you know? Is it under file sections, or are you able to send me?
Go to my personal Facebook page, Bobby Sager. Just scroll down. I posted it about a week ago. You'll see it. It says a gift. I said,
thank you.
Everybody a gift. It's right there, Haley. It's there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for everything you do. Like, you're just amazeballs. Love ya.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, anybody else? We got 1 minute.
Hey, Bobby, it's Margie.
Hi, Marge.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Awesome training. I got loads and loads of pages and notes here, so fabulous. I'm so excited to be working together with you to create our event the end of March, beginning of April, end of this 90-day run. Just wanted to let people know, too, that we have Joby Bowie and Lee O'Shea who have committed to being there as well.
Is that so?
That is so. They confirmed yesterday. So it's going to be...
the English boys coming?
We got them. Yeah, baby. So it's going to be an awesome event. So put it on your calendar, folks. We're going to make it happen.
Yeah. And
oh my God, I think I'm going to have to make a crazy Aussie come too then.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Haley, baby, you better.
We will, folks. We will come up with a date this week. We'll come up with a date this week, and we'll start to put everything together. It's going to be exciting, and again, our goal is to get 300 plus people there. That would be pretty dynamite. So that's great news, Marge. Appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
You betcha.
Okay, one last person. Anybody else?
Hi, Bobby.
Is that
This
Haley?
is Nazia.
Oh, Nazia. Hi.
I'm from New Zealand. I didn't sleep all night just to be in your Zoom cast, because every time I miss you, it's about 4 a.m. or so that you're on. So this time I really didn't want to miss you. So I didn't sleep the whole night just to be in your group today.
I don't know if I should feel bad or good.
And now you should really feel good, because I just really get inspired. The things that I'm looking for, and great videos that you put on YouTube and on your Facebook. Thank you,
Nazia. Nazia, what time is it there now?
At the moment, it's 5 a.m.
Hello. Okay, now. Well, Nazia, I have to tell you that that's pretty cool. That's inspiring to me, and you're special, and Haley as well. I think it's the same time in where Haley is in Australia, if I'm correct as well. So you guys.
It's midnight.
Oh, it's midnight. I'm sorry. I forget it. Listen, I know 3 letters. Eastern Standard Time. That's it. That's it.
I think mine's just eyeballs falling out time, but it's great.
So guys, let me just let me end with this. I'm over by a minute, and I don't like that because I like to just stay on point. But let me say this: this business, I'm in love with this business. I love the principles. I love what the business stands for, and don't complicate it. It's not complicated. It really isn't. Follow the system that I laid out. But here's, when you bring someone new on, please don't just let them go. Please. For them. It's our responsibility to teach them correctly. Now, you can't, I will tell you this, here's the other thing. You can lead the horse to water, you can't make him drink, right? That phrase? My friend Mark Yarnell, who passed away, who was one of my coaches, I'll never forget him telling me in his Texas accent, Bob, I tried to get him to be successful, but I almost died. You can only do so much, but it's our responsibility to get people started correctly. And for you guys, don't quit. Stick with your daily routine. Do the exposures. Miraculous things happen. And most importantly, work on this. Work on this, okay? And let's load those Zoomcasts. Let's get them to 300 and 400 and 500 people. I've got a goal to put 10,000 people in a group, and I'm going to do that. I don't care. I'm going to do that because I've got some huge goals to accomplish, and we've got a great team here. So let's all go for greatness, all right? Have a great weekend, everyone. Peace.
Thanks, Bobby. Awesome.
Bye, guys. Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Awesome stuff.
Bye.